Jamie, how can coaches better understand what truly motivates their potential clients? I remember you sharing a powerful metaphor about mice, cheese, and cats. Could you walk us through that?
Okay, metaphor that I actually got from a buddy of mine, guy by the name of Dean Jackson. Dean's a genius kind of marketing and influence thinker, really, really incredible guy. And he asks a question, uh, and the question is this: what do mice famously like? Like, what do mice love? Just type it into the chat. Yep, the one and only correct answer is cheese. They love cheese. Now, what are mice famously afraid of? They avoid them like the plague. Bingo, the one and only correct answer is cats. Mice love cheese and avoid cats. And you can think of a mouse as like a cheese-seeking missile. They go in search of cheese and they absolutely do their best to avoid cats. And every organism that has a towards and away from circuit has stuff they want to head towards and stuff they want to avoid. And human beings are no different. And your prospective client, what they're interested in, especially at the early stage when they're just kind of exploring, oh, who's this, what's this, that sort of thing, they're interested in whatever's cheese to them. Okay, whatever they're looking for, which is going to be the solution to their problem or the help achieving the goal they want to achieve or help relieving the pain that they're suffering with. That's what's going to be cheese to them. And what's going to be cats to them? Cats to them is going to be making a mistake, blowing some money, feeling stupid, wasting their time, having to do something uncomfortable, having to talk to someone they never met before. Those are all cats, right? So when I'm thinking about how can I make it easy for someone to look in the direction I'm pointing, I think about what's cheese for them and what's cats for them. Okay. And so, for instance, in that article, and I haven't read this in years, so I can't even tell you if it's any good or not. It's so long since I wrote it. But so it's called, the title of it is The Essential Keys for Changing Career at 30, 40, or 50. And so, because we looked at the time, Google search was a good way of finding people. Not sure it's so good anymore, but at the time it was a good way of finding people. And what we saw was people were typing in career change at 40 or career change at 50 or career change at 30. So we wrote a headline that had all three. And then it just like, here's some keys. Boom, 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 all written from Principles Behind Clarity. Key number 6 was your transition strategy. So if someone's made it to key number 6, they're pretty interested, right? They've read 600 words into an article. They get down here, they're reading about it, da da da. It says more productive, proactive, and reliable approaches to choose a specific transition strategy. Millions of people have successfully transitioned from an existing career to doing something more fulfilling and on-person, and they've left a trail of breadcrumbs. Looking at strategies already used successfully by people wanting to transition can give you highlights to some of the key advantages and disadvantages of each. To get clear which strategy makes sense for you, you'll start to get a clear idea of how to move forward. By the way, as luck would have it, I've created a free guide where I outline the 5 transition strategies you can use to leave full-time employment and move to something that inspires you. To get your copy, just go here, click. Tons of people clicked on that link, then downloaded their free guide by putting in their name and their email address, right? So now they've put their hand up and said, that is cheese to me, baby. That is cheese to me. They don't need to, they don't care about who's Jamie Smart at this point or what's his view on spiritual principles. They're not interested in that. They're interested in, I want my cheese. I want my cheese. Give me my cheese. And so that at that point, we don't even really have a relationship. I've just exhibited enough credibility and value to earn an email address, maybe like from 1 in 10 people or something. And then the transition strategy guide is next step, building a little more connection and all that sort of stuff.
I love it. What really struck me is that I was only focusing on the cheese, what clients want, but I was missing the cats. Understanding what they're afraid of is equally important.
Yeah, bingo. And one of the big cats for a lot of people when especially and this isn't necessarily obvious to coaches. Coaches will say, "Oh, give people a free no obligation coaching session." But they don't realize that jumping on a phone call with some gink they never met or jumping on Zoom with someone they never met, that's a cat. That's uncomfortable for most people. That's uncomfortable. Like, oh, what if I don't like it? What if what if he records it and posts it on YouTube making fun of me? What if like that's a hard to get people to the point where that's an easy thing for them to do. They got to feel really comfortable with you first, in my opinion. Now, there's an exception to all of this. If the problem someone is suffering with is so acute that they're willing to undergo extreme discomfort to get it solved, or the thing they want so badly that they're willing to undergo severe discomfort to get it, then they might just jump on a call straight away. So, an example of that would be uh, crackheads. Crackheads really, I don't know if you know this, but if I was to ask what do crackheads famously like, crack is the one and only correct answer to that. They're mad for it. They absolutely love crack. What they absolutely don't like is not being able to have crack. So they don't want to get arrested because if they get thrown in jail, they can't have crack, or at least not so easily. They don't want to get prevented, basically don't want to get prevented from having crack. So, so crackheads will be willing to put up with all kinds of indignities to get a hold of some crack. That's an example of something where someone wants it so badly that they're willing to undergo any kinds of discomfort to get it. But most coaching is not like crack, which is probably a good thing for everyone involved. Uh, so, because most coaching is not like crack, people need to build trust and comfort and relationship. They need to get an understanding of what you do and all that sort of stuff. Otherwise, meeting up with you could be a cat, brother. That's my take on it anyway. Thanks for your attention. I look forward to seeing you soon.